in bed? Alright, sweethearts, what are you waiting for? Breakfast in bed? Glorious day in the Corps. Day in the Marine Corps is like a day on the farm. Maybe meals and banquet. Maybe paycheck or fortune. Maybe formation and parade. I love the Corps.
One minute, gone the next. There's no heart beating inside your chest. It's vanished into thin air, never to be seen again. Never to be seen again. Never to be seen again.
Warm it all up! Everything you got! Come on, you hey! You want to live forever?
Never to be seen again. Never to be seen again. Lick my lips as you walk away. There's nothing left except an empty space. Disappear without a trace. Your memory leaves a bad aftertaste. Ooh, you're dead to me. You're dead to me.
All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Happy, what day is it? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I forgot. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to something that we're going to try a little something new here. As you know, we are doing a bunch of different streams now, trying some different things out. Today, we are trying out some tutorials. And we got...
Well, I don't know. It's really a tutorial, but more of a showing our process when coming up with concepts and designs and moving on into a semi-animated something or other. So somewhat of an experiment for us.
Yeah, so I'm joined here by Benny Jordan here, to my right here, next to me. He will be taking us all through the process. As you know, Benny Jordan is an amazing and talented animator. He's worked for many years as an animator, went to school for animation, and now he is willing to share his process with us.
Yeah,
I had
probably more mediocre animator.
I don't know about that. I had the privilege of working under him. He was a great boss, and it was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot from him. So today, we're going to be doing the same. So we're going to, why don't you tell us what you've got on your screen
Okay.
there?
Well, I've been doing some designs and the characters, and then moving on into the script and working with that. But so right now we are basically starting from bare bones on this idea. I have some inkling of an idea concept wise for some story idea, which over time may change drastically. But who knows? So everyone's going to be on our journey with us. But yeah, right now I've had this character, and I call him Hudson Grimes, and he's kind of a PI. 1930s feel, where but maybe a sci-fi supernatural feel with that. Don't know yet, but that's kind of the direction we're going. But then I'll start writing out my, like, I'll just brainstorm, okay, male, uh, private investigator, all right, and uh, you know, like what, okay, I'll do genre. So I'll just do these, these little brainstorms like this, and then I'll move those to the side, and I'll just start sketching out. So that's kind of what I did with him. But I've had his idea, the look of him, basically. Well, it wasn't that. It was actually just this was my first doodle of him right there, which was, I don't know. I guess what we can do today is just flesh him out a little bit. I mean, I've got somewhat of a design. I liked this, but then I was like, he looks too cowboyish, which is not what I wanted to go for. And one of the things was to shorten the hat a little bit to make it more fedora-like instead of a cowboy hat. And for me, this was too balanced. Almost perfectly balanced. So I wanted to bring his hips up a little bit, lengthen his legs, and give him more of kind of like this S feel, because he's almost like this depressed. In my mind, he's this depressed character.
He's like a little bit of like a Humphrey Bogart kind of thing, but a little bit more sad.
Yeah, a little Philip Marlowe. I'm kind of like a mix between Philip Marlowe and Tom Atkins' character from Night of the Creeps.
Oh, there you go.
So I picture he's always got this one liner like something like humor me or something. Like Tom Atkins, his character was like thrill me,
Right.
answer the phone, thrill me. But I kind of wanted to have this little quirky one liner. But I've been playing around with the idea at first, being this 1930s / sci-fi, where you have science fiction elements mixed into a 1930s, 1940s setting. But then I was like, okay, he's not human, obviously. He's got blue skin. Why? I don't know. Alien.
Makes him more alien.
Right. But then I was thinking, okay, well, what if instead of being alien, he was more of a deceased type of person, and this takes place in this deceased realm?
Like hell?
Well, no. And I was thinking, well, what if it's like purgatory? And I was like, what if we could call the city like New Purgatory? And I was like, well, what if we shorten that to just New Purg? And it's like everybody there. And again, this is just concept idea phase, right? And I was thinking, well, what if everybody there they're all dead? This is like a dead realm, not hell, not evil, it's just like purgatory. Personally, I don't believe in purgatory, but it's not real life for me. So
we're doing animation,
right.
So
right. And so I was thinking, what if we just have this in this setting called New Purg, where everybody's dead, but they're going around, and it's like almost like that Beetlejuice scene where when they're in the deceased realm, and it shows everybody and how they died. Well, people around here go around like that, right? And one of my ideas was, okay, well, what if he's hired by some dame, who comes into his office. He's kicking back in his office with his feet up on his desk, right? And some good-looking dead dame comes in. Obviously, we'd have to show how she died. I don't know what, but she comes in, and there's something going on with her husband. Your typical, 1930s PI, wife comes in needing to find her husband, right? And
like old 1940s detective noir
Right.
kind of things.
Exactly.
So what we're doing today is, are we asking the audience that's watching to participate? Everyone kind of does their own concept drawing of this character?
No, we will take, if whoever's watching, and right now it looks like on YouTube it's just the head ninja.
Well, we get most of our viewers post live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we on certain platforms, I think we have like 87 people that usually watch.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, what I want to do is, because I started thinking, well, what if you and I can come on here and we can just create this thing from the ground up, right? And come up with either like some motion comic with a little more animation to it, or like some little 5-minute animation at the end, right? Once all
okay.
this is done. But then if those that are watching live want to throw out suggestions, we can take that into account. Maybe they have, okay, well, what if this guy is carrying it instead of a shoulder holster? He's got his holster draped around his. Someone mentioned something like that. It's like, oh, that's a good idea. Well, let's try that. And, just open this up to everyone, whoever's watching. And if they're not watching live, well, it might be an incentive for them next time to come on live.
Sure.
Because maybe we'll use an idea. We're not doing this necessarily for any profit, so I don't think anything is going to have to matter that way. But who knows? Who knows what's going to come of it? It was just an idea. Let's get together and do some drawing and create something.
That sounds cool. All right, let's. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my end then.
Okay, so basically, at first I was thinking we'd do like frame by frame animation, bringing it over into Procreate Dreams, but as much as I love frame by frame animation, it takes a long time to do. So I'm thinking maybe we'll design this character and create it in Moho. I'm still new with Moho, but we can use that as a learning tool also. So, and Moho can do frame by frame at certain areas, certain points. So those are my thoughts. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just creating a character sheet. I'm going to be going over some expressions. At first, I jotted down some of these. I need to push them a little more. So,
So right now you're just doing concepts, and
just
these are not actually what you're going to end up using.
I'm thinking more
Because
this
that one
here.
in color, looks like it's ready for rigging.
No, I mean, I do want to keep the style real loose. So as you see, like this like dry ink style, there are still things I want to work out. Like I don't necessarily like his hands here, his hand design. I don't like that. So on this one, I was thinking, well, what if we went for more of like a Charlie Brown type hand, where it's kind of just real blocky, and I kind of like that. So I'm going to experiment with that, and then obviously we're going to have lip syncing, because it's not going to be all just narrated, even though that would be neat. I would like to have most of this narrated, but I want to have lip sync, so I gotta think about, okay, well, how's the mouth going to look, right? So here I was thinking, well, Humphrey Bogart kind of has these buck teeth, right? And it's kind of like a little overbite. So I think we'll play around with that also. So this would be his mouth with his little buck teeth showing. So sound keeps going in and out.
That was earlier. I think it's because I kept switching from your share screen by itself.
Okay. All right.
I think that was the problem.
So right now, let's just throw on while I'm sketching these ideas and talking about it. We can throw out some story ideas. I mean, I've given you my idea. I kind of like the the new Purg setting, but maybe we can do a little bit of that and blend it in with more sci-fi. Because I think in something like this, a noir setting, the city has to be a character as well. So those are my thoughts. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tie him down a little bit. This one, I like this design a little better than the full colored one right now. And one of the other things I wanted to use Moho for is that their brush set. They have a brush set that allows when you the line will be animated, so it'll look like it's got line boil. I mean, it like the old Disney style where it looks like every drawing has been done, but in Moho there are brushes that are actually the line is actually animated, which is really neat. So I think we'll use that and play around a little bit. And right here.
So what do you usually? Well, do you want to talk about what you usually use when you're doing this stuff? Like what?
You mean
Because
for
you're saying you want to use Moho this time, but what do you normally use?
Well, for work, I started off using a software called Cartoon Animator. It wasn't my favorite, and then we moved on to Adobe Character Animator, which I did enjoy. I like that they have a pipeline between your drawing software and the actual animation software. Okay, I gotta try to draw and talk at the same time.
It is hard. It is difficult.
So, but right now, even though it's been a little slow, I'm pretty much fully converting to Moho.
Okay.
Especially since they just did their Moho 14 update. It's no longer owned by Smith Micro. It's owned by Lost Marble, and they've done a fabulous job with all the updates and everything. So I think once we get to the animation stage on this, I think we'll play around with it in Moho. And so I'm going to go ahead and design this character, assuming we're going to be using Moho.
Okay. Well, that would be great because I started learning Moho, but I never really got to. Well, you know.
Well, it's changed a lot. It has. It's changed considerably.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a quick rough sketch just to get the feel of your character.
Okay.
And I'm using a reference of Bogart to try and because that's kind of the idea of what you want.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to necessarily stick so much with Bogart. I mean, yeah, it's pretty well there, but with I mean, Bogart, the Bogart look is like your generic PI look, right?
Right. Well, I guess that's what I'm trying to get right now because it's just like you said. Your initial one, it looked too much like a cowboy.
Yeah.
So I want him to look.
Yeah. My resolve for that was shrinking down the hat.
Oh, gotcha.
So let me go over some changes here that, other than obviously I brought up the hips, right, and lengthened the thighs, but Humphrey Bogart back in that time they wore their pants really high, right, and so I wanted that look, and so I didn't want this. I wanted this, right, and this shortness up top, in comparison with the length of his legs, it keeps it from being as balanced as this was here, right? So now we have this, and that's a better feel. And when I do the tie, they always had those fat ties, but here, and that's another change I wanted to do. In this original one, we had the longer vest with a shorter tie. In this one, I want a shorter vest and a longer tie. So I think that helps with keeping things a little more off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say off balance, but less symmetrical.
I got Itchy in the chat. He said, "What are we working on?" Today
Oh,
we're doing some concept designs for a new character that we're going to be animating. So this is going to be probably a series of videos. We're going to go through the process. Today we're going through character concepts. We have a character named, what's his name?
Hudson Grimes.
Hudson Grimes,
Yeah,
who's
I,
a
that sounded like
noir kind of looking character, but he's undead, I think.
well. Everything's still up for grabs on this one. I mean, I think. Do we want to go that route, or do we want to stick with just kind of a a sci-fi noir feel?
Hey, I'm down for either one sounds good to me. I'm me, I like the gothic stuff more.
Bring in
So
the gothic stuff.
like undead
Okay.
stuff is more, I like it a little bit more than I guess I don't draw a lot of sci-fi is what I'm saying.
You
Because
know, I
everything
don't
I draw
either.
is supernatural.
Huh?
Most of the stuff I draw is like supernatural type stuff. But just like everything else, I like getting out of my comfort zone and struggling because then I learn to draw stuff I'm not is not, second nature and I get better at something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, so I've got basically my rough. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the reference.
Now, one thing I gotta keep in mind here is keeping it simple. One of the things, the big difference between animation and illustrating for comics. I mean, comics. I like to keep things simple in comics, um, but when doing animation, especially if you're going to do frame by frame, you wanna do something that's going to reduce pencil mileage. So if you keep things simple, it's a lot easier to animate. So like if I was doing comics, I'd be like, okay, well I'm gonna have this is gonna be shaded with all these lines and these cross hatching, blah blah blah. I'm gonna have all this in here, and if I'm gonna animate that, I gotta worry about those lines, right?
Mhm.
So I gotta think.
You got to
Uh,
think
I
clean,
yeah,
clean and simple.
simple. I gotta think spatially, and just keep it simple, keep it readable.
Yeah, see, when I was working with you, I didn't worry too much about that because I didn't have to animate it.
Thanks.
I was always waiting for you to tell me to make it more simplified.
Ah,
But I will keep that in mind as I create the concept.
okay. Um, what do we got up here? Anything else? What are we working on? Okay, did that. Excellent. All right. I think when I design cartoon characters, I like going back to you know things not being so balanced. I like, and I don't,
Wait a minute.
what.
Because I remember when I was working with you, I thought everything felt like we had to keep everything so balanced. Like everything had to be symmetrical and.
Well, that's the thing. It depends. Like if we're doing corporate animations, you gotta hold back, and you gotta keep. If you get too creative, they're gonna push back on it. And doing something on our own, we don't need to worry about that. Corporate
Okay.
animations, I say quote corporate animations.
When you're
Uh,
working for the corporation,
yeah, the, they
because
want
they don't really
something
like too much creativity.
right. They want something to get the point across, something to knock out, a 3 minute video. So it's a lot different, and so this will be actually a nice change to do something that we want to do. So when I'm designing my characters, back to things being not so symmetrical, I don't. It's having things too symmetrical is boring to me.
Well, absolutely.
So when I'm designing my character, one, my cartoon characters always have 3 fingers. Always. It started off because, damn, fingers and hands are too damn hard, right? So, but then I just developed my style with 3 fingers, and that's okay. Disney did it. Looney Tunes did it. Why can't I? But I like I like a thin upper arm and a heavier forearm, which is very. I mean, it kind of blends right into the wrist, almost like cankles for your wrist. But I think this one might be a little too big, so we're going to change this up here.
I have that same thing. I wanted to say real quickly to those in the chat right now, hey, thank you for joining us and hanging out. We've got the head ninja, and he is saying,
Most cartoon characters have 3 fingers. Yeah.
There you go. Itchy's in the chat. We also have Ben Tinsley in the chat. And it looks like, well, we did have like about 3 other people, but or 4 other people. So people are popping in, popping out. That's cool. Once again, we are doing some concept designs for an animation that Benny's going to be putting together step by step. So join us for the process.
We are.
That's what I said. What I say?
Benny.
Well, I mean, we will be doing this.
Yeah.
I'll be relying a lot as we get more into the animation process. I will be relying more on Benny.
And I will rely on you for a lot of story, because I am not a writer at all.
I can do stories.
Yeah. So anyone watching will be on our journey, and I'm sure you will see some really horrible drawings and concept designs and hear some really horrible ideas, but you'll possibly hear some really great ideas and see some really great drawings. Who knows?
See, my character is going to be it's going to be a lot easier to animate because I'm going to be having him in the shadows. Like his eyes are always going to be shadowed in. The only problem with that is there's not much expression, but he kind of doesn't seem like he's going to have a lot of expressions to me. He seems like he's going to be pretty solemn.
Okay. I don't know why I chose to give this guy a fedora.
Yeah, thanks, man.
But
I'm horrible with hats.
If it's a ball cap, that's great. But fedoras, when you get into having to take a circular plane and bend it and draw it.
Yeah, man. That's what I was just thinking.
And then have it tilted. It's like, ugh, man.
It's like it's almost like a stiff cape that you got to bend around. And...
Yep. All right, I think that'll work. I want.
Thanks, Benny.
Yeah. Well, we're still in concept phase. Does he have to have a fedora? But most people in that era did.
Yeah, I would say he does.
I want him to have these
also,
two.
I don't want to redraw it.
What do you mean redraw it? We're just doing concepts.
Yeah.
Concepts. And we might be doing concepts for a while. And
no,
you know what?
We don't have to do that.
We might be. Who cares? This is the fun stage for me. But
I like to get right to it. You're like,
no. Take the time, create something good. I'm going to have to pull a lot of fedora reference here. I mean, not right now, but I think during animation, One of the neat things about Moho, and I don't know how many people are familiar with Moho, is I'm not 100% familiar with it. I'm still in my learning stage with it, but it's a vector based, but um, it's got such a great freehand drawing tool, and you can draw on it. It doesn't feel vector, but you can go in and just adjust everything, everything. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Okay. I wanted to bring his pants up higher, but not his hips or his groin. I wanted to bring the pants up higher, but it would look funny because it would. I'd have to look at the style back in the 30s and 40s. How much fabric did they use on the waist to the groin? I mean that they had it pulled up so high. It was like almost over their belly button.
You're kind of interesting to me because your character, the look of him is very very cartoony, but at the same time you're also trying to get the right, like you're talking about references and stuff. Like you want to get everything correctly.
Well, I mean, you got to make it believable. That's one thing. If your characters aren't believable, who's going to relate to them, right? I mean, you can have alien characters that no one's ever seen, but you still have to have some form of working anatomy under everything, to make it believable.
I just saw the chat is blowing up.
Is it?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, wait, we already did this guy. So Ben Tinsley says, can Benny translate Jason art into his art, like Night Owl? Night Owl is a comic book that I drew for Ben Tinsley.
Well, that's
It's
funny.
funny you should ask that.
I'm sorry?
I said, it's funny he should ask that.
Go ahead.
You've had to do stuff like that before
Yeah.
when we were working together.
Yeah, so the dynamics between Jason and I are kind of interesting. Years ago, I was working on a comic book called Zombie Outlaw with my buddy Brian. And I think Brian peddled that rag at a convention that Jason was attending, and you met Brian. And then he gave you my contact information. You contacted me, asked if I'd want to work on something with you. I said, sure. We started doing Shadow Hunters. And then I did, 2.5 issues? And then, it was a hard time in my life. And I had gotten laid off from my job and just recently got married, just recently found out we were going to have a kid. And, so everything was out of sorts. And so I started working for Jason. And, I had to, because I was, not working, I needed to do something. So I got back into school for animation. And I had to prioritize, so I had to stop working on Shadow Hunters. And I wish I didn't. But
I remember that the last thing you said was, one day they can do a Shadow Hunters animation.
yeah. So, anyways.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Anyways, fast forward several years. I think like maybe 10 years, right? Something like that. I move. I come here to where I'm at now. Get a job with this company that needs some, not medical animation, but medical related animations. And it got to a point where I was getting overwhelmed, and I needed help. And I got the okay to look for help. And I asked Jason. I said, "Hey, Jason, with all the artists would you know anybody that would like to help us out?" And he's all, "Yeah, I'm looking for work." So it went from, okay, so Jason became I don't want to say my assistant, but he and he didn't work under me. We worked together, and we worked very well together. And
He was my boss.
no, no, I've always appreciated how well we could work together. And but yeah, that's how things went. And then now, from the company we were working at, some things happened, and they had to do their cutbacks. And Jason's doing his thing now, and I got back onto a Shadowhunters comic, and it almost came full circle.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's kind of interesting the way.
yeah, and
Like-
who knows how much longer I'll be around, doing what I'm doing. Hopefully,
That's why I got to grab you now.
yeah, hopefully I will be around for a while. I pray. I love working for the company I'm working for, but we're just going through some hard times right now. Oh, but that's our dynamic.
Yeah, there was an animation that I ended up. So one of my jobs when I was working with Benny was get the script, and then we would either do the character concepts like we're doing now, or sometimes I would just jump right in and do animatics, which are movable storyboards, like storyboards that moved around. So they're kind of animation, rudimentary animation, really.
Yeah, animatics are basically your storyboard with camera movements and cuts.
Right. And it's kind of a visual way to show where the animation is going to kind of go. And then and it's like, you can make all the changes and stuff without actually have done a whole animation and then have to make a bunch of changes. But so there was one in particular where I did it, and the artwork that I did was real rough because it didn't have to be polished or finished.
Oh, you're talking about the
The kid
Yeah.
one.
yeah, it was the emergency room one, the pediatrics in the emergency room.
Yeah, the pediatrics. And so I have a bunch of kids. I did this Benny decides, I'm going to go ahead and just use your artwork and then translate it into rigged characters that I can animate, which he did. So it was basically my artwork, but Benny drew it.
I didn't draw it. I used.
You kind of drew over it, didn't you?
No, well, for the most part, I used your art from the storyboards because they weren't going to be fully animated. It was we were making it as if children had made that production, right? So how would children make the production? The art would be very, very loose, but it was like a puppet show. So I made his characters look like they were drawn on cardboard. So they all had a corrugated effect. Hold on, my ghost opened my door.
Ben Tinsley says Jason draws, not drew. Night Owl. Oh yes, of course. I just mean I drew the books that are done. In fact, Ben and his son Jake are both have the current Night Owl comic book ready for a campaign, and I know it's going to launch any day now. So you guys check the link in the description. I will add it in there for the Night Owl comic book campaign. Night Owl 2-in-1, but as I keep telling everybody, it's more of 4-in-1. There's like 3 or 4 comics in there. It's almost a graphic novel. Anyway, sorry.
The head ninja says, "Just look up Dick Tracy comics for fedoras." That's a good idea.
Hey,
fact,
I didn't see that in my. Oh, there it is.
Gonna do that.
Sorry, the head ninja. I didn't see that. I didn't see that comment earlier.
One of the things about if we're gonna work with Moho, everything is vector, and so like if I don't like working vector, I love just doing the drawing, but like I said, they have such a great freehand tool. It feels like I'm doing a raster drawing. But anyways, what I was saying is like if I do this fedora, right, and say I'm going to animate a head turn, I don't have to redraw that fedora because this fedora being vector will have points, points on it.
Sure.
So as his head turns, I can move those points and say if I have his head turn, say like you can rig up what's called a smart bone, right? And it's a bone outside of the character, and it's say like the head would be assigned to this smart bone. Say if I'm gonna do a head turn, I would rig it to where you move that bone down, and his head would turn this way, right? So when I move that bone down, I would just say all these points on this vector file are going to move in this certain direction. So it can look like it's almost 3-dimensional, which is really neat. At this point, I haven't done a head turn in Moho. So if we're going to use Moho and we actually get to that point, it's going to be a learning thing for all of us.
That's what I was just about to say. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
It'll be fun, yeah. So let's see here. I'm thinking. I just want to see if there would be any issue with, and like in Moho, I could do the same thing on a foot. If I wanted his foot to rotate, I just rig it up on a smart bone, and if I move that bone, drag that bone 90 degrees, that foot would turn with all those points of the foot would be assigned. It would be say like when this bone is down this way, these points are here. So you can make that foot look as if it's actually pivoting. But I still want to keep things very simple because in Moho, the more points you have, the more you have to worry about animating. So it's almost like pencil mileage that I mentioned earlier. Even though it's not necessarily pencil mileage, it is still having to move each individual point. You're telling each individual point where to go when you move a certain bone that you've assigned to it.
Uh-oh.
So
You're in trouble.
One second. The wife. What is the login to Hulu?
What?
I gotta remember. It's okay.
So while he's on the phone there, what I'm doing is I'm just throwing in some spot coloring. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that I worked on in the animation studio, I didn't have to do a lot of finalized artwork. That was always that was kind of when Benny kind of took over. But I'm gonna be learning how to do more process now through this whole series. So hopefully you guys are going to be joining us through this. Looks like we got quite a number of people watching, which is
all right.
cool.
I don't want to ignore the chat. So anything new?
Yeah, we got one. Ben Tinsley says, Beanie, Benny, how long does it take to say, draw a page of your art? Oh, P.S. Your name rules.
Oh, and it is Benny with a Y, not I-E.
I think because I put these banners up, they can't see our names. Hold on, let me see if
I always felt Benny with an I-E was more feminine.
There we go.
So, but anyways, I digress. How long does it take? You know what? I'm slow. I'll be honest.
That's why I started laughing. That's why I started laughing. So,
yeah, and
should I tell them? Like,
I don't think tell whatever you want. But no, I'm with when I'm actually doing the art, it doesn't take long. It's because right now life is so involved outside of artwork. For me to actually complete something, it's forever. It's forever.
I don't know. Benny said it's okay. I can tell you. It's so he worked on Kill Jessica Kill, that last Shadowhunters book that we just finished. I'm actually in the process of packaging them all up right now. We got all the books came in, and I'm getting ready to ship them. But so he did what was it, like 16, 20 page?
16, I think.
I think 16 pages. It took roughly about 2.5 years.
But I mean, if I timed the amount of time I actually doing the art,
Right.
that's completely different.
Right.
I wouldn't know because I didn't. But it's just getting to a point where I can say, "Hey, hon, you mind if I break away for a little bit so I can work on this?"
Yeah,
And-
when you went down to the coffee shop at the end, we were,
Yeah,
kinda-
I was cranking it.
you were cranking it. You had, I think you even had time off of, you were on vacation. You had time off work.
Yeah.
And you basically said, I am dedicating to get this done. I was like, oh, thank goodness, because we're about to launch in a couple months. And yeah, you cranked it out. You were, if I'm not mistaken, you were doing about a page a week, maybe? Is that fair to say?
You know what? I have no idea. I don't.
Maybe a page every 2 weeks.
But I don't know. You tell me.
But that was awesome, man. And
But
you get
it is because I didn't do the coloring also. On the first
oh, that's true.
on the first 2.5 issues of Shadowhunters, I did everything but the text basically. I mean, obviously I didn't do the writing, but I mean from pencils, inks, colors, But yeah, I did everything but the dialogue, balloons and text.
I'm ignoring the chat again.
Yeah.
The character looks like Woody from Toy Story fell on hard times.
Right.
I forget which one's Woody.
Woody's a cowboy, the main character.
Oh, I only saw that movie once, and I remember the Buzz Lightyear. I always remember that one, that character.
Yeah. Everybody remembers Buzz Lightyear, but I mean they're great. They're great movies. But I'm really put off on all the 3D.
Is that because the hat looks like a cowboy hat?
I think because Woody had here. Let's pull up Woody, because if it looks too much like Woody, we're changing. Okay.
Ben Tenley goes, years?
All right. So
Yeah, brother. Some people, have different speeds.
does Woody on hard times. Oh my god. Oh. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna roll with it.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I'm just gonna keep going with this design. I mean, it could change still. Do you see what I'm showing?
Yeah, I see your little Woody. Oh, wait,
Yeah. That's funny. Okay.
So is it because it's that? Okay, so the cowboy
Well,
hat
you look at
is
the shape of the head. He's got this long head. See, his is my character. I mean, we're gonna get down into the little nitty gritty. He's got. I mean, yeah, it's a longer head, but it's more of a rectangle. His is more roundish, and it's completely different. I don't know what you're talking about. Completely different. We're getting rid of that.
Okay, Benny's getting upset.
But you know what? This is this is concept phase. So the thing I always tell myself is don't settle for the first design, which I didn't, because my first design was
Because that's me. I settle for the first design.
I mean, I took from what I liked about that and moved it. I don't know if I don't have anything against guns, but I don't know if this character needs a gun.
Well, if everyone's dead already.
Right? But, are we going with that idea? I don't know yet.
I thought that's what you said.
I don't know yet.
Well, I made them all blue and dead looking.
Well, he's still going to be blue. I'm going with blue. I mean, they're either going to be in the supernatural dead realm or in a sci-fi realm, or it's just, you know what,
I
whatever.
think I think it just depends on what you feel like drawing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like if you feel like drawing like more sci-fi stuff, then we'll have to go sci-fi.
Well, what if we just completely bend the genre to where it's like just fluid? It's genre fluid.
Stop.
This is gonna be genre fluid. If he might have an alien for a client,
Okay,
or
there you go.
one day he might have a spirit. Who knows? You know what I'm thinking?
Well, we're
Um,
doing like what one little short animation. We're not unless this is going to be a
you know what? You got to make it. You got to create the world, right? You gotta know what you're doing. I don't think you should just. I mean, you want it to have depth. So whether you show it or not, at least it's in your head. It's like this character. I was thinking, okay, the reason he's so down is because his wife left him, right? Maybe he died of a broken heart, and so in this spirit world, underneath his shirt, he's just got this huge hole in his chest. I mean, you can see through it if he didn't have his shirt on, right? I don't know. It's concept. I see your little Woody.
See, I'm going to really have to edit this if I'm going to put it on the kids channel.
Right? Yeah. Is genre fluid what you do? Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
Well, there goes our kids tutorial.
So right now I'm going to look at this concept, and I think I'm going to look at. First of all, I want to look at my perspective here. I might be off a little bit. So. Not that it really matters too much. His head's going to be canted. That's fine, but I want everything kind of going like that. All right. And then what?
I'm seeing a lot of a lot of comments from Ben Tinsley.
I know.
I think I'm gonna.
You're talking about the genre.
Yeah. I'm gonna just skip through that. I'm like, I gotta edit this video enough for the kids. I'm like,
Big black censored bar for the kids. Okay, so
we're gonna have to do a second one for the kids.
okay, the thing that's bothering me right on this one is this arm here. It looks a little too high, so I'm going to take that out for a second, and I'm going to do some draw through. If anybody's familiar with animation terms,
I have no idea.
Okay,
What's a draw through?
draw through.
You have to explain the stuff because that's what we're here to do, learn.
So, I'm going to take that out. Draw through, and you've done it. Just you might not have realized the term. It's basically saying, okay, so here's my shoulder, right? Here's this shoulder here. Okay, this shoulder's going to sit back here, and I think this arm's going to come out like this, and then forearm here, and his thumb's going to be right here, and there. So basically, I'm drawing through what I've already gotten drawn, right? So like his hand would be like this.
Oh, it's just so you know where everything.
Right.
I gotcha.
And I can bring that down and move that below.
Because you're gonna have to draw that separate from the body anyway.
Well, that's not what I'm doing. I'm drawing through because on my ink layer I want to make sure everything's lining up where it should, right? So now it'll look right. See, it was a little off. There we go. There.
Do like this.
Delete that. And let's bring up the opacity there. That's a little better. The only thing is, one thing I always want to keep in mind is silhouette. So, and I don't like that this doesn't create any negative space, right? So what I'm going to do now is here, and let's do this.
Yeah, you know what? I probably am going to do what you did. Instead of giving them all these little hairs, I'm just going to do a gray tone on them.
So
That's just going to be a pain in the booty.
all right, so this is my silhouette here, and for the most part, it's okay. But I lose interest right here, right? Oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, 1 second here. I want to do this one there.
Ben wants to know if all the characters are blue.
No, they can be, but no. I mean, this is all you are coming into this. This is all 100% ground zero. You know, we're starting fresh with everything. So if we want to make them all blue, maybe we can, but that wouldn't be interesting. It would be boring.
Yeah, then you just be creating the Smurfs.
Right? So, do I want... Let's try something. Do I want to bring that arm out? Let's see. I want to see here if this would be better.
Yeah, I normally I don't always, for the most part, I don't really work digitally like this anymore.
Yeah.
But for this kind of, I feel like for maybe it's just because that's what you taught me. I feel like for animation you kind of have to.
Yeah, well, if you're doing paper animation, you'll have to.
See, I don't know what I don't. See, it's just because I only learned it the way you taught me. I remember the first thing you did. You got to get a computer. You got to go get some software. Like what? I'm like doing storyboards. The first storyboards I'm doing, I'm like drawing on a little piece of paper, scanning them all in. And I'm like, oh no.
All right. So I think I'm gonna go with this. I was thinking about oh, I deleted it. I was thinking about bringing this arm out more to break up this, add some little negative space in there. But I'm just gonna go with it because this is just it's just a concept drawing right now. So I think I want to play with some expressions. What do you think, Jason?
Let me blow it up. Hold on. Sorry. All right. I think he looks cool. I mean, I don't see much difference from what you started with, but I'm sure you can see. It looks
Do I need to go over it again?
no. It's good to me.
So, but yeah, there are some slight differences that keep it from being so balanced. The colored version is too balanced, whereas we have a little bit more variation on the non-colored version.
Cool.
So
now you got your concept. You got your concept drawing.
it is. There are things like this tie. It's too straight. So even though it's just the concept, it's bugging me. So I'm going to. It's not following the contour of his stomach. So I got to fix that. because he's got a little pooch. So it's gonna go like that and like that. Okay. Let's bring down my. I'm gonna put a little guideline here. I know it's just a tie, but whatever.
Well, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark here.
Okay. Well, I think next stream will be more concept, probably.
More content?
More concept.
Well, so okay.
What? Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so this is basically people can kind of get the idea of how to do a concept drawing, and then you're gonna keep working it until you have something that you're happy with.
Until I have something where I can say, okay, I'm ready to do. I'm ready to take this sketch into Moho and start drawing it in Moho. So what I'm going to do is,
So
well, basically, before we even do that, because that's getting to. I mean, we're not even at a stage anywhere close to where I would want to start that because I don't know story. We don't know story. You know, I'm going to utilize you for storyboards again.
okay, so the next step is going to be storyboards.
Well, we need a story.
You got a story.
Do we?
I thought I worked out a script already for this.
Well, you worked out an idea.
No, that was this. Well, I have to write in the script format, but that was basically it. Yeah.
Well, we'll go over it. We'll go over it and see.
Okay, we'll go over the script next time.
Yeah.
And then I'll start working out. I can start working out the storyboards. So next time, you guys keep working on your concepts. Next step we're going to be doing is storyboards.
Well, we have to look at the script and see what other characters we need concepts for.
Okay, so you want to go over the script in the story.
Yeah, I mean we've got our main character.
So typically we would have the script first before we would actually work on concepts.
Right. Well, when we were working as a team at the specific company we were working at.
Right.
Yeah. But
this way we're kind of going a little bit backwards.
Yeah, I mean we've got the idea. So now we need the script. Then we'll kind of flesh out some other character concepts, and then we'll start going into storyboards, animatics, and then we'll go into creating the assets, which include background art, any other interactive anything that they're going to be interacting with, and we'll be rigging the characters in Moho.
Yes, that's a lot, but that's cool. So we're probably going to end up with like what, a 1 minute animation maybe, or no? It's probably going to be like
I would like I want to push because we would always do 3.5 minute things, but I don't want to feel like we have to be set on that. So I wouldn't want to do 10 minutes because I think that would be too long for something of this. I mean, unless we're just going to keep streaming this thing, which is fine by me. But let's decide. Let's go over story idea. Let's try and give like a little story with a gag on it, and at that gag, once that gag is revealed, then that'll be the end of that, and maybe we'll continue on with after that, some other project that relates to it.
Cool. That'd be great. And
All right.
probably even crossover with the Shadowhunters, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe we could do like a motion comic. It's an animated comic, not like your typical motion comic where there's just still frames that just kind of go from
That kind of drift across the screen.
yeah, all it is parallaxing, right?
Yeah.
But maybe we can work it to where we have we zoom into the setting, which is in the panel. So maybe we see the page, the panel, and we zoom into it, and we're in
the scene
inside that panel.
Sure.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
We'll see.
All right, you guys, thank you for joining us on our first animation process. We're going to be working this throughout. We're going to do this on a weekly basis, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Or if
Or
this is something that you're always going to be working on, Benny. I mean, you could work on this while I work on stuff.
yeah. Well,
We'll
I
just see.
think if we only did the work during the stream, it would take quite a long time. So during my free time, I might pick it up and do some sketches here and there, and then on the next stream we have, we'd go over what I've done, and then move forward from there. But we'll see.
That's probably sounds good. Yeah. All right. Well, Benny, do you want to give a shout out where they can find you?
At home.
Uh, so you can find Benny on LinkedIn, on DeviantArt, and
Honestly, LinkedIn, I don't do it. I just have it. I don't. I, I don't know. But most of my stuff's on DeviantArt. I don't even post anything on LinkedIn. I have something with my name, but DeviantArt, what is it? Benny P76 at DeviantArt.
well, I'll put links in the description below. If you're on YouTube or on Facebook, I'll have links to where you can find Benny. Usually on YouTube, they let me post better links, but I'll do my best to do that. Ben has once Night Owl hits the animation stage. Will this be the same process? Absolutely. This is.
Are you
probably
going
the-
to animate Night Owl?
Yeah, that was the idea. I had actually done some real short stuff just for fun already.
Oh, I want to see that stuff.
I don't know. Am I allowed to show that, Ben? I can show it right now.
Well, I mean, it doesn't be on here. I mean, I would like to see
He
it.
said I could show it. Hold on.
Yeah, let's plug in some of Ben Tinsley's stuff.
I when you work for clients, a lot of it is all NDA, and you're not allowed to really talk or show anything unless with their permission. So that's why I'm really careful and never showing anything. But yeah, let me see. Is this the one? Let me make sure this is the right. Oh.
What are you using to animate, Jason?
So I'm animating in. I use Photoshop to create the art, and then I animate inside of
Character Animator?
After Effects.
Oh, okay. All right.
So hold on. I found all the pieces, but.
So regarding our stuff for this stream, it's going to be a slow process. So, come on, join us, watch us draw and chit chat, but we'll just go through my process on this stuff isn't necessarily everyone else's process. It's just what works for me, and so if we can share that and it works for somebody else, great. And if it doesn't work for them, well, they can find another process. That's good too. So, and if we're using a software or we have ideas or we're working in a certain way and someone else who's watching the stream has a suggestion or a critique, I'm not proud. I'll take a critique anytime. And if someone knows how to do something on a certain software, hell, let me know.
I see James is in the chat.
Well, he's coming on just as we're leaving.
I know. What's up, man?
Well, you are going to show Ben Tinsley stuff, right?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to look on.
Or you want to save that for next time? Get it set up.
Now I'm all excited to show it.
Oh yeah, show it. I'm in no rush.
Hold on. Only if I can't find it in 5 more seconds. I found like the first one I did without. I actually did some. I did some lip syncing. I did some. Let's see. Let's see if I can grab it from the from Facebook where I posted it. So you can find me. Let's see, Benny. When are we doing? What's our next stream?
for this, you just want to do Tuesdays? Tuesdays at 5? PST?
Yeah, we can do. Well, are we still? Yeah, we could do that.
Or I'm up for more. It doesn't have to be 2. It can be more than once a week. I'd do it every night.
Oh, I found it.
Can you stop hitting me?
Hold on.
Did you do the voiceover for that, Jason?
Yeah, you know how I always did. I did the. So what do they call that in the professional world when you do the voices?
Voiceover?
Huh?
Voiceover?
Is
I
that
believe.
voiceover?
Oh, for scratch audio?
Scratch audio.
Scratch audio.
I would do the scratch audio, and it would just be hilarious. All right, so we'll go ahead and play this. So this is 11 seconds.
Okay. Now, did you do puppet rigging or frame by frame, or is it more of a crossfade type of animation?
It's almost kind of frame by frame kind of a thing.
Get rid of my stuff on there. We're done with my stuff here, so we can see it.
No, it's fine. This will work. All right, you ready?
No. Oh wait, let me stop sharing.
Can you stop?
Dang it.
Hold on. Okay.
Well, I got full. Am I on full screen right now?
You are, but my stuff, like my screen, I just stopped
Oh, I
sharing.
see.
It's in front. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
let me turn that off. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I got it. I got this. Now I should be on top.
Not for me.
Am I on top?
No.
All right, let me just turn your screen off.
Yeah, just turn it off. I stopped sharing. I don't know why it's still up there.
Is it still up there?
Yeah. I'm looking on YouTube also, and it's still up there.
All right, I'm just going to delete it.
Yeah, do it. But don't delete me.
Oh,
What?
yeah, I turned off the wrong one. You had 2 share screens on here.
How?
Wait, did I turn you off?
No? I don't think so.
There you are. Here, I'll just put you in the corner.
Yeah, just move it down. Well, it's not me that I'm seeing. I'm seeing a gray screen with a little monitor in it. You know, the share screen sign. There we go.
Is it
Okay.
working?
Yeah. All right. Let's see it.
All right.
Hitting me?
Wait, hold on.
Don't know.
It starts up really quick.
Can you stop hitting me? Don't know. Can you stop being evil?
See, real simple.
Oh man, your scratch audio always makes me laugh. It's so funny.
It's awesome. That's
Love it.
you hear that? I sound like the Joker.
I love it.
Will you stop hitting me, Batman? All right, let me close this one out. You guys don't want to see my art.
All right, Keith Cameron saying, "Hey guys, hey James. Well, you guys are coming on just as we're leaving.
I know. What's up with that?
When do you want to do the next one?
So, well, we got the Friday. That's when all the scattered people come on.
Okay.
So, do you want to come on, pop on? You're going to be on that, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything planned for Friday. I mean, like last time, my boy had an eye appointment at 4, so I wasn't able to make it. Do you want to do these Hudson Grimes streams twice a week or just once?
Well, we can do them maybe once a week. That way, we're. It just depends on what the workload is going to be like. Yes, I got those files, Ben. I'll talk to you off camera. We made some. Remember, we did some adjustments
All right.
to that project.
So All right. Well, thanks for letting him share that. That was
Yeah, thanks Ben for letting me show the artwork, the animation. Yeah, he had some vocals actually done. So that's what we call scratch audio, and that's where the animator, which is me, does the audio just as to fill it in so
for
that
timing.
for
To help
timing.
with timing.
So you could hear like some music that and some audio. You kind of get a whole like feel of what it's going to sound like without the actual stuff being done yet. So that's what that's for. That's what we call scratch audio, and Benny always laughs at mine.
I'm not laughing at you. It's a good laughter. it's like, man, I wish we could use that, right?
I know you did always push for my scratch audio, which I always thought was funny.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us for our animation process series. This is the first one. We did concept drawings. You guys, if you have some concept ideas and want to show off what you're working on, send them in. We'll take a look at them, maybe give you some feedback. And we'd love to hear your input on what we're doing. So next week, we will be doing storyboarding and scripting. Mostly going over the script and then storyboarding from there.
Yeah.
And that's when Benny like bosses me around the most. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, thank you so much. Links in the description where you can find Benny's work, where you can find my work. We'll see you guys at the next one. Please like, share, subscribe. Happy New Year. Peace.
And make sure to check out the Patreon.
Just want to thank everybody for watching it.